Welcome back to Alliance War. It's the second war of Season 38, and 4 Loki is facing x5e. I'm starting off on Path 9, and these bastards must be fans of my channel because they banned CGR. But that's okay. They're not real fans because they didn't ban Rhulk. So the first fight on Node 9 is going to be Rhulk versus this rank 4 Knull. It's a pretty simple fight, actually. You just play it conservative, in which while you're under a bar of power on Knull, you want to go ahead and do your 5-hit combos, and then when Knull is above a bar of power, you want to do a medium, light, and then turtle in order to prevent him from throwing his special 1. Then you could push him over 2 bars of power, let him throw a special 2. Even with his fury, hitting into your block is not going to take up too much damage, and so it's a really, really safe fight. Yes, it's going to cost you some health, but, you know, what are a few potions in the greater scheme of things? Only solos matter. And this, well, this is going to be a solo. All right, so the next fight on Path 9A is going to be Mags. Mags is a conduit defender. Clearly was placed here as a ghost ward to try and prevent people from ghosting this path. But, you know, you can't prevent the Rhulk, so after I heal him up, I'm going to speed this fight up because there's absolutely nothing to this fight. It's just beating Mags down, dodging his SP1, getting some sick intercepts, getting some parries, and just beating him to death. Yeah, not really a whole heck of a lot to see. And that is going to be it for Rhulk in this particular war. I have 6 more fights, and they are all going to be Miguel fights. And the way things worked out, I was able to do all 6 fights in a row. So we'll fast forward to Path 7B, Node 33, the Spite node, and once again we have Peni. You saw me take this in the last war. I took it again this war, and now I fully stretched out my Miguel skills, and so I am good to go, and I'm going to absolutely smoke this Peni. Not to toot my own horn, but, you know, I do play this fight pretty textbook. Take no damage, use no potions, and just move on with my life. I didn't even use any Grey War boost for this fight. I did have on the power back boost, but I figured since I'm doing 6 Miguel fights in a row, it was a good investment of those resources. So next up we have Mangog on 43. I don't know that I've ever really seen Mangog here before, but ultimately it doesn't really matter because with the Wither, kinetic transference is going to really do a good job of keeping his power in check, because every time I parry or he hits my block, he's actually going to end up losing power. And so I don't think he even throws a single special in this fight. He may, and I may be quickly proven wrong, but I don't remember him doing it, or at least it was not enough that I worried about his rage charges getting above 10 and him going unstoppable or anything like that. So this is your, you know, prototypical Miguel fight where you're dexing to pause the debuffs, hitting block. Yep, my wife walked the dog, and the camera on the motion sensor went off. But yeah, this is your textbook Miguel fight, man, and it's over. All right, next up, we have a fight. We have a Wong on 47. Now, ordinarily, with Wong, you got to be careful of the stink eye. And by the stink eye, I mean you've got to be careful of killing him with him having less than 1 bar of power. Otherwise, he's going to be putting some buffs on the defender for the next fight that you take. But here's the thing, is that those buffs include gaining power. And what does Miguel not care about? Gaining power. So I'm not worried about any of Wong's post-fight stink eye stuff. I'm just worried about managing his in the fight, namely that passive unstoppable that he can get. Otherwise, Miguel hard counters everything to this node. He's got class advantage. He's a sick and tired attacker. And so ultimately, as long as I'm being conservative, watching out for those periods when Wong is going to go unstoppable, this fight is going to go down pretty smoothly. Yeah, there's really not much else to say. You know, he goes unstoppable, I waited out, and then I beat him to death. Maybe I should have written down some more jokes for this commentary. I don't know. Anyway, next up, we go to node 48, which is a Mordo, and my good friend Vega was kind enough to put a White Nito guidance on this bad boy for me. And so the fight is over right now because it started, and there's absolutely nothing to this fight. I just do the heavy for style to open up the fight, but I'm going to go ahead and speed it up because there's nothing to it. It was honestly the Sasquatch that I faced last war was more complicated than this Mordo. As you can see, he's super loose with his specials, which is great, and I'm just going to dex him and beat him to death. So next up is the fight that I was really concerned about this entire war. It's Doom on 51, the Conflictor node. This was a fight that is definitely doable with Miguel, even though it is Conflictor. And fortunately, I have a wonderful alliance mate by the name of Karate Mike, who has done this fight before and can show me the way. So my particular strategy is to go ahead and add in the advanced power boost. And the reason is because Conflictor is going to eat the Wither at the very beginning of the fight, and I want to get that Wither up, because as soon as I get a Wither up on Doom, then Conflictor is reversed. So that's my strategy here, is to get to 2 bars of power, trigger Conflictor, hit him with a special 2, and that should be enough to end the fight. I'm anticipating, I'm having to dex a few specials. I think I eat 1 special 1 here. I'm also anticipating that I'm going to be taking a decent amount of block damage because it is Doom. Yeah, there's the special that I missed. And I know that I'm probably going to have to take a special 2 on the block, and I just got to be careful with that. So right there, I'm just waiting out Doom's aura before I trigger the Conflictor. And now I'm going to hit him, and I get my Wither. All right. So now I'm playing with gas here, and Doom throws a special 2. You can see it eats, 25% of my health bar just on the block. Karate Mike would dex the first 2 parts of that Doom special 2, but he's a better player than I am, and I tend to be conservative. Having watched his video, I know around where Miguel is going to end up health-wise, even with the special 1 that I ate. So I know that I'm okay. Right now, I'm just sort of dancing to get the ruptures up while also pausing my Wither, because I cannot lose my Wither in this fight. So I have to be super careful. I have to be very conservative just because of how low my Wither timer has gotten, where I got to do a lot of dexing to pause that special and just sort of let the ruptures do work on Doom. I trigger Conflictor with the heavy. Still pausing my stuff. I'm going to... Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, now I hit him with another special 2, get the Wither back, and now this fight is pretty much over. I get a little aggressive here just at the end because I know Doom is dead. And so, not as smooth as Karate Mike, but just as effective. So I'm going to heal up Miguel, and for my final fight, I'm going to do this Mephisto. I did this fight last war, and I talked about how I was surprised in that fight about how Mephisto ate the Wither at the beginning, because the soul imprisonment prevented buffs from proccing, which prevented the Wither timer from pausing. So I knew that going into this fight, and so it wasn't a surprise, and I could play around it. So I did a PS. I had that remaining time left on the PS1, and I got my Wither right back, and now I could actually pause it with dexing. And now all I have to do is not get hit by a special 1. And unlike last war, where I think I got hit 3 times by a special 1 or something like that, in this particular fight, I'm not going to. And Mephisto is going to go down pretty clean. So this war, I ended up 8-0. That takes me to 16-0 so far for this season, which is pretty good, but it's what I expect with being able to use Miguel for most of my fights. But because all of you are true clown fans, you deserve a little special treat. So in SSX, this war I had 6 fights. And, well, in one fight, things went a little awry. So I'm going to share that with you now as sort of as a dessert, a final course, if you will. Please enjoy the video. And yeah, PWF woo-beared me, so I had to take a bow. But anyway, yeah, enjoy this one little clip from SXX. See you in the next life, Jack.